In this video, we are going to be doing a deep dive on some of the best sales processes that I've learned over the years working in B2B sales and also starting my own company. We're going to start from the very beginning, from the lead generation side to how to generate leads, how to qualify customers, talk to them on the phone, and then close a deal. And I'm going to be sharing you my personal experiences, things that I'm going through right now as I develop this process for one of my new businesses, which is an NFT agency. So if you are a consultant, agency owner, or if you do anything related to tech and you have to sell expensive, high-ticket products, this is going to be for you. Now, before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and let's dive in. First thing we gotta cover is gonna be the lead generation side. So for lead generation, it's probably the most important part of the funnel, meaning it's that how many qualified people are you getting into your funnel, your system, whatever that looks like. Because if you don't have any leads, then it doesn't matter how great you are in talking on the phone, you just cannot close a deal. So in the beginning, it's all about focusing on leads. For my particular business in the NFT space and my agency, what I personally do is two things. Number one, I actually generate leads inbound, meaning I create content on YouTube on my other YouTube channel called The Parallax, and I also do a lot of Twitter content as well. And then people there, they see me, they like me, they think I'm a credible person, they click on the link in my description, they go to my website, and then from there, they learn about who I am and they book a call. So that's the first way I generate leads. Sometimes my goal is to grow my audience. Sometimes my goal is to get people to click, right? But if I'm creating a piece of content to get people to click, my goal is just to get them on the website. The website does all the selling for me because I already wrote all the copy and things like that. And then they eventually book a call. Now, the other way we generate leads is actually through referral. So we can ask our current clients like, hey, do you know anybody who might be interested in a similar service that I provided you? And it's also, using industry connections. So when I worked at Oracle, when I worked at Y Combinator back startup, a lot of times when we do lead generation, we're reaching out to people cold, meaning send out 100 emails, maybe 25 people respond, and then maybe 3 people actually take a meeting, 5 people take a meeting, and then we just send emails to all these people. We have no idea who they are, and we can sell them stuff, yes, but then it's a lot more grueling, if you know what I'm saying, right? So with my agency, I took a different approach where I wanted more warmer people to come to me. So that's why we did content. We focus so much on content, and we are able to attract high quality clients that way. The other way we do it is like we use our industry connections. So me being in the NFT space, me being a content creator, trying to promote good projects and things like that, I'm able to reach out to certain individuals, certain founders, and then have them introduce me to other people. And it's really all industry connections, right? If someone else tried to do the exact same thing I'm doing, it's very hard for them to replicate the results because they haven't built that credibility in the industry. So I think brand in the future is going to be a huge thing. So no matter what product or service you're selling, if you think of yourself as a commodity, you're going to be seen as a commodity and your prices are going to go straight to the ground because everyone's going to be like, why would I pay you a high price when I can get the next guy who does the same thing? Now, instead, what I'm doing is I'm building a brand, and brand is everything when it comes to margin and getting clients in. So if you look at Adidas or Nike, Nike is a perfect example. They're selling sneakers that typically cost them like $10 to make, $7 to make. They'll sell for $200, right? Of course, there's going to be a distribution process they go through to get it in the store and do the marketing, but it's a brand. You're really buying into a brand. So brand is going to be key moving forward, and that's what I'm building. And I've learned myself, like if you have a brand, everybody responds to my DMs. If I hit them up on Twitter, there's a pretty high chance they're going to respond, right? Whereas if you're nobody with no following, if you do any cold outreach, very low chance you're going to respond. But if you build a personal brand and you're the one that reaches out, they're going to respond. So that's very key when it comes to lead generation, right? And that's just for me personally, right? Depending on your situation, you might do something different, but I would say like if you have the opportunity, you have the resources, build a brand, create content. Like Gary Vee always says, content.
It's that simple.
Now, the next phase of the sales process, it's more about filtering, right? So it's qualification. So before you actually sell something to somebody, you want to make sure you're talking to the right person on the phone. So for us, for example, when you go to our website, plxlabs.co, you press the button and then you have to fill out a form. So we're going to ask you a bunch of questions like what's your budget? What kind of project are you? What's your website? What are the challenges you have? So I want all these questions answered before somebody talks to you on the phone. Because if I don't know these things, I don't have context, my team should spend time talking to you, right? A lot of time, if they don't answer the questions properly or we find they don't have a budget, then we're not going to talk to them, right? That just is what it is. So having a filter saves you a lot of time for sure. If you want to look at what that filter looks like, just go to my website, check it out, reverse engineer it, whatever you want to do, that's totally fine. And then from there, what we're doing now is that a lot of times, because we just set this up, I'm getting on the phone all the time and I'm trying to sell customers. It does work, but the problem is that sometimes people get past the filter and then I realize they're not going to be a good fit. So for me, as a person who is a business owner, I'm also the account executive and I have to close. But what I'm realizing realizing is that now it makes sense for me to have like a sales development rep, someone else on my team, essentially get on a call with this person for 5 to 10 minutes, ask them more questions to vet them, to qualify them, to make sure they have money, they have a problem that we can solve before they actually get a chance to talk to me over the phone. Because as a salesperson and as an entrepreneur, I am still selling, right? So I am a salesperson. I'm always going to be a salesperson. You know, your time is the most valuable. So having someone take the qualification call before the account executive, which is also me, comes on the phone and closes the deal, very, very important, especially if you are a coach, consultant, entrepreneur. Your time is super valuable. So you need people to help filter it for you, even if you have to do it manually. Now, of course, if you have an automated way to filter all these things, even better. But you know, you can do that to a certain point. Then you have a sales development rep get it to a certain point, and then the account executive comes in to a certain point, and then you get the close, right? In the perfect situation, you know, as the company gets bigger, I'll have different people doing closing for me, right? Which may or may not happen. We'll see how it goes, right? Because a lot of times people want to talk to me and they buy into my brand. I get it. I'm sure Gary Vee had the same problem where people want to work with Gary, but he has a whole team. So he's like, sorry, you know, I'm just a personality, but you got to work with my team. And that's probably the direction that we're going to have to go as well. For now, I'm the one closing and I'm the one, you know, helping them out quite a bit. Now, the last part of the sales process is closing, right? So closing is quite interesting because for our agency, advisory, whatever you want to call it, for us, it's about a 2-call close. So meaning they go through the process, they answer the questions, me or someone will talk to them, and then we kind of understand what they want. And then sometimes it takes one more call to make sure that we hammer out all the details. They get approval from, you know, their stakeholders and stuff like that. And then what will typically happen is I would just write up a contract. It's a really short contract, just basically the problems they have, how I solve those problems, and the price to it. Send it to them. They go back and forth on pricing if they need to. And then usually it's pretty quick because I position myself as like the only solution to their problem, right? And they're like, all right, cool, sounds good. And then they send the contract and that's it, right? So it's just 2 calls, send a contract, close. So for me, it's pretty easy because I identify the pains and like I'm in a hot market as well and people want to get into the space. But for you guys, you know, you really have to think of how to make your process as simple as possible. The less calls, the better. If you can close a deal within like 1 week, which for me, I typically do, that's the way to go, right? And so for us, you know, that is the current sales process that we are going through. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully you got some inspiration from that so you can apply it for your own products and services. With that said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next one.